I met Rahul when he sold his company to Voodoo to HP, and I was chairing a company that I presented previously in NASCOM called PrimeSense that changed the world because of the Kinect. So
yeah, we screwed up there.
that's okay. We'll improve. We have 50 more years to go. So basically, I'm here as an entrepreneur and as an executive in a larger corporation, but it's all about the people, and you said about the connection between the people. And whenever I come to India, I feel that in a way I come home. India, Israel is less than 1% of India in geography and less than 0.5% in population, but we're both chaotic. Chaotic is very good for, chaotic is very good for innovation and entrepreneurship, because when chaos is all around you, you have to improvise in order to get your way through. And improvisation is probably the key factor in successful entrepreneurship. The rest is how you connect, and as Raul said, how you build the right kind of teams, and so it goes. So you need to take everything that I say here with regard to Israel as something that can very well happen here if the mindset and the direction is agreed upon. And what is the mindset and direction that happened in Israel? The mindset is that taking risk is fine. We all know about big data today, so taking risk means that we also can fail. And if we can fail, this means that we can take risks and we can actually succeed with the probability of success that is associated. So we're here to succeed, and sometimes we don't have another option but to succeed, because the economical value that is created by knowledge is similar in India and similar in Israel. There is nothing that creates today an economical value larger than knowledge, and you said it very well when you said when you're looking at technology companies, you're looking at the cap value. We're looking at traditional industries, you're looking at the revenue model. So cap is very important because of the potential that it shows in the market, and potential that it shows in the market is farsight. Farsight you have, I have, some of us have better abilities to execute. I think Indians, the way I met them for many years, have great abilities to execute. And services is a great example of the fact that you can actually put an idea and take it all the way through from creation, innovation, execution, operation, in sustainability mode. So I think that what happened in Israel that fermented so well the innovation. The fact of the matter is that Israel had no land, no natural resources. It was built 65 years ago, about the same time that India got its independence, but it didn't exist before in its current form. It was a melting pot of multiple immigrants and refugees from places in the world without an economic infrastructure and without support for refugees, and consequently it needed to build something. Also, it is a speckle in the Middle East, 1/800 in geography and 1/50 in terms of population. So it needed technology. Now, necessity is the mother of inventions. If you take some knowledge, if you take some need, and you take some daring and you put them together, venture can be large or small, you have an outcome. Sometimes the outcome will be very successful, sometimes the outcome will be moderately successful, but at the end of the day, the result is a result of tying and connecting people and competences and mission and origin of knowledge. And that is what it is all about. So for all the people who sit here in the audience, I don't think that there is anything other than the geography separating between us that makes us different. You're smart, we're smart, we put an emphasis on education, we put an emphasis on taking risk and improvisation in order to create out of our education something that has an economical value. And teaming up is another option because we do not have a local market. Not a local market means for anything that is investing in research and development, we're a country of 7 million people. The only thing that is substantial, maybe, is the defense market. But other than the defense market in Israel, nothing justifies developing tools for the Israeli market. So partnering is an option. And for everything that I know, probably partnering with the US is easier because in the US, there are many programs that are very well defined. Venture capital is defined. The process that you go through venture capital is defined. Doing alliances with companies is defined. Because when you do an agreement with a large company and you're a small company and you have a successful technology, you get an NRE and you can execute the project. It doesn't work that orderly between different geographies in the world, and consequently, the United States is the first stop for everybody. But if we think about bringing the partners, the customers, making it valuable in the Indian market, then it's a big market. It's an innovative market. It's a very interesting market. Companies like GE were very capable of doing reverse innovation by creating cost-effective solutions in this market and then creating new market segments in their own countries. There is a great opportunity, and if one needs to focus and to create the collaboration, then one can succeed very well. So if I go further to Israel and I tie it again with India, then we have a special situation in the Middle East because we're the only democracy, we're stuck there. Moses didn't have a GPS, so we circled in the desert for 40 years instead of going straight to Switzerland or Sweden. But the fact is that we have what we have, and it puts us on our toes. And it puts you on your toes that you do not have the GDP per capita that makes you already a developed country, regardless of the fact that people have here a very fundamental culture and great thinking. So take the very fundamental culture, thinking, and education, put yourself on the toes, and you're in the same situation. And actually, you're in the same situation because, as Raul described earlier, he said, took him a long time to come from the airport. Indeed, took me a long time to come last night from work and pretty much to miss the dinner. But the key issue is you need to stick to something that you really want to change. If you don't want to change anything, don't be an entrepreneur. If you want to change something, and this relates again to the issue that you want to have an impact far exceeding what your footsteps are, then you need to take it. And the MOD situation, the defense situation, is a great initiator. And survival equal competitiveness, no difference. When you want to survive, it is clear that you will stay alive. When you want to be competitive, it's clear that you want to be the one who is there with your product ahead of anyone else who has anything of the like in the same segment. So this is one. So basically, I think that what we are talking about is we're talking about knowledge, we're talking about the focus predominantly of technology, we're talking of finding the partners and finding the right market, and we're talking about winning. And this is the same. This is the same. And the venture element in it is extremely important because the venture is about acceleration. You can do something in your home lab. It will take you 5 years. You can do something in a team with funding. It will take you 5 months. The time to market makes a difference, and you should do that. So I'm all for supporting and funding. And funding can be from the private sector and can also be from the public sector. In Israel, at one time, when it was clear that the country doesn't have growth from agriculture, which was famous oranges and a limited amount of water, then the government decided to make accelerated investments and to incentivize research and development in the private sector. And the difference between the years of 1990, 5% of the GDP was in technology. In 2000, 15% of the GDP was in technology. Big difference. And when you have such a big difference, you actually can see that you can continue to do it right. Now, you don't use the same tools at a later stage, but you review the tools and you use the mechanisms that make you grow with the focus on growth, on the bigger picture, and focus on being better and more competitive at the individual level. So I think that we can discuss more of it, but this will be for today. You want us to stay? Okay.